Okay, here's a really important safety video. Obviously this blower is running. We know we have power to this breaker. It's on. It's actually just upside down. But notice what happens when I'm checking for voltage with my meter. I could easily mistaken this for this unit being dead. Let's say this unit wasn't running. It wasn't junked out. Would I put my hands in this unit just because I read something like this, 1.3 volts? A lot of technicians would say, well, that's just some back voltage. This unit's dead. I'm going to go ahead and put my hands in it. Obviously, it's not dead. And I'm about to show you why this meter is reading this way. So here's my Supco meter that I've been using for a couple years now. It reads power quality. I like that part about it. The Bluetooth on it really stinks. You can't even leave the room or go around the corner with it. But you know, this meter I've been using, posting a lot of content about power factor, reading motors and capacitors that way, but I noticed that this red lead felt really loose to the touch. And when I looked down inside of it, I realized that the little plug that this goes into, the little female port, is pushed down in there where it's not making contact. And here's why. See this right here? It's not supposed to spin. This black port doesn't spin, but this does. So your leads aren't actually making contact with the rest of the meter, and that's why, even though I had power, the meter wasn't reading power. Now, you know, this could have been, I could have dropped the meter, it could have been for any reason other than a manufacturer's defect. But I've never had a field piece meter do this. I've never had a fluke meter do this. So I'm really disappointed that the Supco meter did it. But here's the bigger point. How many of us have checked power on a unit, put our meter leads on there, read 0 volts, and then put our hands in the unit? Happens all the time. I used to do it all the time. But if I'm going to put my hands in a piece of equipment, the proper procedure is, and this is even lockout tagout procedure that often gets missed, one step is to first check your meter on a known power source. That way you make sure your meter is reading correctly, that your leads are pushed in. Don't skip that step. Fortunately, I had a known power source right here that I could just unplug one of these, check for power, make sure my meter is reading correctly before I check to see whether this is dead and I put my hands in it. But please, y'all, don't skip that step. It doesn't take much for your meter to mess up or a lead not to be plugged in right, and you can get a false sense of confidence and get really hurt or even worse.